G'day everyone, welcome to the Opal Mills. Today we're going to answer a question of can you cut a gemstone on a rotary tool or Dremel? Short answer, yes. Long answer, keep watching. So I've selected out a piece. It's usually about the size that most would be trying to tackle with a Dremel. Usually little chips and whatnot. So this isn't super big. Give it a quick weigh. And we're looking at 4 carats to start off. So it's just a little 4 carat stone, but I reckon we can at least get 1.5 carat to 2 carat finished stone out of it. I haven't decided whether we're going to do a freeform yet. Usually get into the stone, see how it behaves, what needs trimming up and what size stone is left. I've sort of watched other channels, and one this morning, Black Opal Direct, it was going for clean stones. Now, I'm not sure if the importance of clean stones has been made clear. When you have any issue with a stone, that is, sand on the inside, unless you can't see it, it's not going to affect it too much. But things like flaws, cracks, fissures, faults, these things can shorten the lifespan of the opal. To be ensured to have a nice stone for a long time, as long as it's looked after, a nice clean material stone is required, just to ensure that once it's polished, it should be impervious to all liquids, being glassy, and it shouldn't come to any harm as long as you don't knock it or hit it. And even if it does get a bump here and there, if it had a flaw, a bump could open that up more. But if there isn't any, the worst case scenario, unless you hit it too hard and smash it, is you might get a chip that should be able to get refinished out of it, if possible, with a thick enough bar, as long as it's not a razor thin bar or something. So longevity of the stone is the real goal for a cutter. We can cut any material and face it and make it look really pretty. But when we're talking high dollar gemstones, you need to have clean material. It really is necessary for the high price. You think about if you had the money to pay for a nice price stone and what you'd want out of it. You'd want it almost perfection, best as possible, or you'd pay less for it. So that may explain, hopefully, why we're going to waste a lot. It appears we're wasting it. Now, me, I like to trim it up and save it for inlay and that, and I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, but I don't like wasting precious opal. So, yeah, nonetheless, it will need to be reduced to a saleable stone that is in demand. And I know some people like freeform. I like freeform, and I do a lot of carvings. I'll be doing a lot more this year. Just to salvage some of the gnarly looking lumps I've got with beautiful colour, but you'd chop the heck out of it to get nice stones, and just, yeah, I think it looks better. Specimen value stones as such, gemstones. So nonetheless, clean material is key, and if you have to sacrifice good colour to get it, which, like, that edge is way too thin, there's no point trimming it off to get to the thicker part because it doesn't take long to thicken up, so I'm not going to be able to trim it off. It's just going to get ground away, and that's just all there is to that, which is why when you buy a well-cut stone, for those who are paying the money, I'm sure they've had it explained to them by the jeweler or the retailer. Part of what you're paying for is the sacrifice of good opal that went into producing a beautiful gemstone. And it's not lost on the cutters and the sellers that this is the case. And again, a lot will trim off what they can. But it's, it's the high big dollars that they're playing with, and perfection, yeah, sacrifice and so forth sort of speaks for itself in the end. So anyway, we're going to hit this one with a Dremel just to see what's going to come of this one, and how to, it's no different to any other machine. You see these little tiny bits and pieces on this grit? forget the mandrel, forget the machine, forget the Dremel. You know, a sharpening stone is made out of just this stuff basically, for knife sharpening. And you could cut a stone on that. You know, it's as long as you can run a grit that's going to cut into the material you want to remove. So diamond's harder than opal. We're all good. It should work. It comes really down to hand control, and it's not really a technique. You'll develop your own with your own hand movements. Everyone's different. Some people hold a pen differently, for instance, so their movements will be slightly out. But the overall achievement, the overall goal, doesn't matter if I use this or a cutting wheel. It should be, and we'll see if we can get an oval, just for explanation, I'll go with an oval. We should be able to get a nice cut oval that you probably shouldn't be able to tell what it was cut on, because the results should be the same either way. So, with that, I'm also going to do a couple of things different. This is the only bit I'm going to use as far as the rotary tool goes, to do the whole job of cleaning it up, shaping it, and getting ready for pre-polish. The pre-polish I'll be doing on a cork block with sandpaper, 400, 800, 1200, and then even though I've done this before, I've always nonetheless had a polish machine, so my polish is still going to be done on that with a cerium, but I'm sure you just get a felt bit and you could polish it, and you know, for demonstration purposes I'm not even going to bother about it. We all know it's possible. For instance, it's no secret, it's not like, you know, anyone here hasn't been there, but you got Roy's Rocks. He's always using rotary tools and showing what can be done with them, and advice on it. Another one I'll mention is Carlin's Colourful Creations, on YouTube as well, and she does rotary tool work on her opals, whether it's Ethiopian opal or Australian opal. She just uses rotary tools and gets very good results. I'll give her that. You're doing well, mate. Heads up. And so yes, it's definitely possible, and stick around. I'll stop rambling, we'll head over and whack this in the Dremel, start cleaning this up, see what the face is going to look like. So for this one I've chosen this side to be the face. It's got potch this side, it's got nice colour, and it did appeal to me this side when I first looked at the stone. I'm like, oh, just under there is a really nice colour. But I'm thinking that should be the base, it would be too thin. And I'm hoping that that will stand out a bit more than we're seeing here and just brighten up like the edges here once we get the skin off. You already see it. If that's the skin and that's the colour coming up under it. Yeehaw. It's going to be a good stone. So let's go find out. Alright, so I just marked out a couple of the boundaries I'm going to come across where it's tapered in, so by the time that comes in to get the bottom flush, deal with these thinned out edges. A bit of a chip. There's sort of a triangular shape in there, which if we're going to go for an oval would allow for that size of an oval, which looks like a lot of waste. I'm going to try and go for a bit bigger than that, but we'll see how it trims up and what's going to be a stable stone. So hopefully, well, the hardest part's going to be getting all this on camera. I'm going to try and do all my work right here, but if my fingers get in the way, I'll just fast forward some of this footage. So to start with, I'm just going to deal with the edges. Starting to get an edge on there, flush, starting to thicken up. I'll move around the stone. Sides have tucked in quite nicely already, so it's left with a bigger stone than I was imagining. Still got to deal with this side a bit. Don't like the way that's sitting up there, but I do have to sort the back out. So if we can orientate that and incorporate the thinness there, just try and not bring it in too much and bring the back down a touch. And even if the back, instead of being flat that way, is orientated that way a touch, as long as that bar is thick enough this end to compensate for that tilt this side, which it is. That's some gorgeous colour. So, what shape? I might tidy up the top, and we'll see how thin it gets around the edges as to how much further it might need to be brought in again. Okay, so we've got our stone nice and clean. As you can see, there's two jelly bars running through there. They're not quite polished, they do have colour in them. Not that strong. The main colour's over in here. So I think we might focus our stone over here. And I may actually slice that corner off and save it. Or maybe see if it's worth it. But yeah, unfortunately our good colour's all over here, which would be our best bet to cut a really nice high-end stone from. So I might just get the template out and see what can become of it, and see about trimming this up. It's a bit of a shame about that potch, but you can see the bars are sort of running through here. Coming up out here. So as you see that there is more the end of a bar you're looking at, but because of the angle it's cut on, they look like stripes. Anyway, focus on this piece here, it's beautiful. Alright, so it looks like that's going to be our stone there. Again, it's a sacrifice that goes into some stones. So I'm going to head to the saw, slice this off quickly, and I'll come back. Alright, so that leaves us with that. It's a nice little bit of inlay there. I'll get a couple of slices through that way, or a little stone. I'll go in a chip jar. So, let's see what we can do here. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is give this a trim up. So I found a bigger template, get a bigger stone. Alright, so there's a rough shape. Now we're going to dop it. It's going to be a bit fiddly if we don't, especially when it comes to polishing. So quickly dop it and come back. Alright, so now I'm just going to refine the shape a bit. And then we'll start on the actual cutting process. So there's a nice little oval there. And what I'm going to do is colour in the sides so we can see how far we're going to take the setting edge down. Like so. And then we'll get a nice even setting edge around there, which will also determine how high the dome will be. and I'll start the dome. Alright, I think we're good to start sanding. Alright, so this is going to be as easy. Just wrapping that around there. Getting our stone. We're going to start with the sides. I'll leave my thumb there as a sort of spacer to keep it from tilting out. We're going to run all the way around. Now this is wet dry sandpaper, so we will give it a bit of water on it. Start on the setting edge. Slowly rotating the stone round. We'll start on the top, rolling it over. Rotating the stone the whole time. I'm sort of going like that, slightly. Do little sections at a time till you bring it to the center. It's important to try and get the center of the stone at the top. It's the least easy to get to place. As it's rounded, you have to do it from all sides right to the center. You get little dimple scratch marks. Focus. So there we go. It's got a nice sheen over it in the 400 grit mark series. So now we'll shift 800 like so, and repeat. I'm pretty sure that's to an 800 sheen. So now, got 1200 and repeat. Let's have a closer up look. There we go. So there we go. Very good pre-polish. Ready for the cerium. Alright, so I could get a bit of leather, get some cerium, and do it like I did the sandpaper. But I've got the machine. Alright, so there's the top done. Now we've just got to turn it upside down and finish the bottom. Alright, now basically the goal is to match everything down to this low point. So the whole back will be done to match that. So then it can, when it's up the right way, it'll sit down in the setting nicely. So anyway, get you guys up a bit, see if you can see this. Otherwise I'll fast forward it. Can't tell till I edit. Oh, this is going to be fun. All right, freehand. Okay, there we have, except for the Dremel part, virtually a hand cut stone, cut and polish. A nice base to sit on. You can sort of see a bit of a point there. I've rounded it a bit with the 1200 and the polish, so it's not a dead sharp, catchy edge or anything. It should be even all the way around. And so she'll sit nicely down in the setting and leave that poking out. It's a nice little ring stone size. I'm thinking we probably got down to about a I reckon a carat. We'll see. I'm hoping for a carat and a half, but I don't know, maybe for its depth I'll get that. Yeah, it's about a carat out of 4, so that's 25% for a nice, clean, settable, saleable stone. And so that's probably a, I don't know, $150, $200 stone at least, surely. By the time it's set in a ring, maybe even just even a simple silver ring, I'd probably sell that for 400 in the ring. So they all add up. And yes, the answer is, there you go. That's with the Dremel. It can be done. How much time, how much careful movements. Don't just jump on a piece like this and go for it. One slip and ding and that rounded bit will leave little scoops in the wrong spots. So it's always keeping it moving and learning never to point the Dremel down into the stone. Always have it curving away from the stone. A lot of rolly action as you do it. And until you get the hang of it, and yeah, you can do that. It's not a problem. A bit more time consuming. I'd rather knock it out in the wheel quicker. But we've got the shape, got the cut. It's not a half decent stone either. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed. Cheers.